Hi, writers. We are going to learn about selecting and setting up quotes that directly support our thesis statement. So today I want to teach you that essayists select quotes that directly support their thesis statement. They are sure to introduce their quotes, use quotation marks, and explain how their quotation relates to their claim. So in a minute, I'm going to teach you what I mean when I say that we use quotes, and I will model how we can do this with our essay on Fly Away Home. All right, so when we quote a text, that means that we give exact information from a quote or a speaker. So we use direct words, exact words from the text we're reading. So when I'm quoting in my literary essay for Fly Away Home, I will use exact words of Eve Bunting to support my points. And our quotes must be set off with quotation marks. These punctuation marks here. Now, when we have quotes in a literary essay, it signals to our reader that these are not our own words. We didn't write this. We are using the words of the author of the texts we read. And it's important that we use the quotation marks so we're not copying and saying that those words are our own. All right, so let's model this with Fly Away Home. So first, we need to collect some evidence. So we're going to reread our text, collecting quotes that match our thesis statement and supports. And I have our boxes and bullets organizer here. Our thesis is that the story Fly Away Home by Eve Bunting teaches us not to give up, even when life seems really hard. And one way that we are taught this lesson is through the character of Andrew. So here's our support. And now for my bullet points, I'm going to put some quotes that I think show us how Andrew teaches us never to give up. So one quote I found that I think teaches us this is, "He and I collect rented luggage carts that people have left outside and return them for 50 cents each. If crowds are big and safe, we offer to carry the bags." So this is when we learn about the jobs that Denny and Andrew do around the airport while Andrew's dad is at work. And even just in my boxes and bullets, these aren't my own words. They come directly from the text. I'm putting them into quotation marks. All right, another one I found is, "If Denny and I have a good day, we treat for pie, but we stopped doing that, I save my money in my shoe." So he's not giving up, he's saving his money, hoping that can help him and his dad. All right, another one I found, similar to telling us about how he's saving money. "I'm saving money too," I tell him, and I lift one foot and point to my shoe. Dad smiles, "Attaboy." And finally, I found the quote, "And if we get a place, you and your mom and your grandma can come live with us." This is when Denny and Andrew are planning to live together if they get the families get an apartment, so they can live in the apartment instead of the airport. So like I said, I reread my text closely and collected quotes, direct quotes, put in quotation marks that I think support our thesis and show how Andrew is one of the characters that teaches us this. All right, so next I need to pick the quotes or parts of quotes that best match our support. So this is what I think. I didn't use the whole first quote. I just said, "He and I collect rented luggage carts that people have left outside and return them for 50 cents each." I think that's enough. It just tells us the jobs he's doing and shows enough that he's not giving up. He's doing jobs instead of just sitting around all day. The second one, I didn't really think it was an exact match. I don't think it was the strongest quote that I could have picked, so I decided I'm not going to use that to support my thesis. Next, I decided I'm just going to say I'm saving money too. It's just simple enough. I'm to show that he's saving to help his dad. And I decided to use all of the last quote. "If we get a place, you and your mom and your grandma can come live with us." All right, so it's time to put this into our writing. So we're going to do steps 3 and 4 together. So in our body paragraph, we're going to introduce the quote using some sentence starters that are on this anchor chart up here that you should recognize from 4th grade. We can say, "According to the text, the author stated," "in the text it states," or "the author wrote," any of the starters from here. Then we use quotation marks to set off the quote. So the two quotes I'm going to start with are, "He and I collect rented luggage carts that people have left outside and return them for 50 cents each, and I'm saving money too." All right, so here's what my body paragraph is going to look like. I'm starting with a restating my thesis statement in support, and then I'm going to present my evidence. One way the author teaches that a person should never give up and should keep trying is through the young boy, Andrew. In the story, Andrew doesn't sit around waiting for a better life. According to the text, Andrew and his friend Denny do small jobs to help raise money. The author wrote, so introducing our quote here, that Denny and Andrew collect rented luggage carts that people have left outside and return them for 50 cents each. I put my quotation marks here because those are not my words. Those are directly from the book. When his dad seems sad about not finding an apartment, Andrew says, "I'm saving money too," and again, quotation marks, and shows him the money he collected. All right, so I just used two of the quotes that I collected. And now I need to explain how the quote connects to our claim, our thesis statement, using the sentence starters. And again, you should recognize some of these from fourth grade. We might say to explain, for example, this evidence proves or shows, this shows that. So now we need to explain, how does this connect to our thesis? I said, this evidence shows that Andrew's not giving up, even though life is hard. It's just a quick sentence to explain the connection to the thesis statement. All right, let's try this one more time. I'm going to use the last quote that we collected when we did our reading first on our boxes and bullets. "And if we get a place, you and your mom and your grandma can come live with us." All right, so I'm going to introduce the text, explain or introduce the quote, saying where I found it in the text. Towards the end of the book, Denny tells Andrew that he can move in with his family if they get an apartment. Andrew responds by saying, and here are my quotes, "And if we get a place, you and your mom and your grandma can come live with us." This shows, so getting ready to explain my evidence and how the quote connects to the thesis. This shows that the boys are hopeful about one day having a home of their own. They are not giving up, even though both families live at the airport. All right, so now it's your turn to try this. You're going to start by rereading your text, collecting quotes that match your thesis and supports. So use your boxes and bullets. You'll pick the quotes or the parts of quotes that best match your support. In your body paragraph, introduce the quote using one of the sentence starters on this anchor chart here. Remember to use quotation marks to set off the quote. They are required. So we know that those are not your words and you're not copying. They come from the book, and you're going to use the author's exact words to support your thesis. And finally, you'll explain how your quote connects to your claim using some of the sentence starters here. All right. And again, remember, quoting directly from a text means that you must use quotation marks.